That is not the correct way to eat a cinnamon roll.
Yo, what the food is that? What am I looking at? It looks like a double-double douche was dropped inside your mac and cheese dishes. Please don't be putting all those beans on my pizza and lasagna. Got me begging on my knees. Yo, what the food is that? A deep-fried heart attack. Type 2 diabetes on a stick with candy-coated double chin setting in. What you gonna do when your poor little cankles can no longer support you? Smells like cholesterol and shame up in here. Man, it's rancid. Is that boiled pig feet? I'm gonna be sick. Yo, what the food is wrong with you? Just tell me why you do the things you do, like coating chicken wings in purple goo and turning perfect meat into a nightmare straight from Lovecraft. The cheese-covered Swiss rolls will fuse to your back fat. Yeah, what the food? Tell me what you gonna do. Are you gonna eat the pizza with the special toppings too? Yes, it's been revealed and it turned into a spectacle. Now don't start tripping, it's just a juicy testicle. What the food is that? A frosted coated glass. What the food am I supposed to do with something that's as dumb as that? Wait a minute, now I see it. This is just a waste of space. Take a step back and get your salmon vodka out my face. You can't tell me people actually eat this. It's gotta be illegal. What even is that? Ugh. Oh, what the food? What did I just walk into? Chocolate emerald pickles with a heaping side of fragrant grue, coupled with the texture of the double sardine chocolate bread. Kinda makes me wish that this morning I had woke up dead. Can you even classify that as food? Isn't poisoning someone for internet fame illegal? What the food, man? Hi. Welcome to What the Food. Yeah, we're doing foreign affairs today, looking at weird foodstuffs from all over the world. Actually, I had so many of these, I had to split it up into two separate segments. So this week, we're going to do a general foreign affairs. We're going to have a little bit from various places, but then I took all the Asian foodstuffs that I found and I shoved it into its own special, which will be Asian delicacies next week on Talks a Lot Entertainment. I would like to welcome you and thank you for joining us. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope everyone is having a grand old time, and I hope you're not eating during this, because as I like to say, if you're eating during this, you've made a poor life choice, especially once you start seeing the street vendors. Anyway, let's say hi to the chat, shall we? We've got Jason Fox. Hello, my friend. We've got Vincent Womack, the ever-present and ever-wonderful moderator for our channel. He says, just saying I'll have to dash out from time to time, making stew. All right, hell yeah, I love a good stew. I just got done eating a shitload of pizza myself, so yeah, I'm rearing and ready to go for this. And hello to the lovely Sherry. Hello, my friend. It is wonderful to see you. I hope you brought your appetite with you. Because, yeah, have we got some shit for you? My computer is being really stupid right now for some reason. And yeah, I don't understand why it's doing that. It's making me upset. It is making me upset. Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to start out light this time. We're going to go to Australia and take a look at the meat pie crust pizza. It's upgrade any large pizza from $3 extra. And this is from 4.20 with Aussie beef mini pies. Yeah, so I would eat this, honestly, just starting out light. I would probably eat this, depending on what meat is in the meat's pie. The lovely Sherry says, I'm in Wendy's, so it's perfect. Oh, yeah. That's an awful place to be. I feel sorry for you. Wendy's is disgusting. Vincent Womack says, the computer knows what's coming. Yes, it does. And he also says, would eat. I would totally get down on this. This is way better than Vegemite or any of their other, was it Marmalite or whatever? I don't know. They've got some nasty stuff down in Australia, and everybody's seen Vegemite. So I figured we'd start out with something that's not too bad. This is a pizza place with Aussie beef mini pies over here. So it's beef pies with pizza. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. The lovely Sherry says, my daughter wanted this. I'm getting a baked potato. Nice. Baked potatoes are delicious. I love baked potatoes. And now we're going to start in South America. Marmite. Thank you. Marmite. That's the other one I've heard of. No, thank you. Marmite is good. Okay. I will take your word for it. I don't think I can get that in the States, if we're being honest. Not without paying an arm and a leg. Vince says, unlike Vegemite. Yes, Vegemite, from all accounts, is disgusting. So, come on. All right. We're here to ask the question, what's your favorite Brazilian pizza? And we'll start this out with the tire. Yeah, the spare tire. I couldn't begin to tell you what's actually on these. These look like tomatoes, maybe. That looks like meat and pepperoni, maybe some sausage up in there. No telling what's behind this giant ass wheel. But yeah, so there's your first Brazilian pizza. Vince says, why? Just wait. Here's our second one. Again, don't ask me what exactly is on it, because this looks like it could be bacon. That looks like a pork chop. That looks like a crap load of greens. Of course, you got your lime for squeezing over it. That looks like bread. Maybe black beans. Could be charcoal. Not 100% sure. That could be rice or cheese. And then whatever this grilled monstrosity is in the middle here. And you can wash it all down with a lovely glass of Skull. Vince says guacamole. Yes, the guacamole. Tasty. Always hits its mark. Yes. So yeah, there's our second out of a few. Hold on. StreamYards is being StreamYards, so now I have to go over here and take a look at the chat, see what the lovely Sherry did over here. Because this is what it comes up as in StreamYard, which is awesome. So she did covering her mouth. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Welcome to the wonderful world of Brazilian pizzas. Oh yeah. Yeah, but if you're feeling in the more festive mood while you're down in Brazil, you could always go with the rotisserie chicken stuffed with whatever, with green olives. I'm going to assume that is either Canadian bacon or some kind of sliced pork or beef, just something along those lines. I'm hoping it's not tree chicken. And then, you've got your standard chickens, your whole Cornish game hens here on your pizza. And then, of course, I guess we could draw attention to the middle here, which appears to be something along the lines of chocolate pudding or something. Maybe it's gravy. I don't know. And pastel M&Ms? Maybe? Lovely Sherry says, yum. Whatever floats your boat, lady. Woof. Man. But if this one isn't exactly your speed, I mean, you could always try out this dessert pizza instead. Of course, this looks like rice or long grain rice or noodles or maybe some maggots or something. I'm not 100% sure. Those look like they could be squished strawberries or squished tomatoes on top of it. That's a salad pizza right there. The lovely Sherry says, those are British Smarties, a.k.a. M&Ms. Yeah. Yeah. The more... That could, the brownies that you get in those frozen dinners. That's what this in middle reminds me of with the British Smarties. Hail to TZ Burton. Hello, my friend. We're just taking a look at our favorite Brazilian pizzas. This one, of course, has pineapple on it. not in any way that even pineapple lovers would eat it, but you know. And then, of course, there's this. I am not in any way, shape, or form sure what the hell that is. I don't know. All right, but this Brazilian pizza, it's another choice for you. TZ Burton says, let's do Philippines. Like I said, you missed it at the beginning. Okay, so check this out. I had so many foreign foods from outside the U.S. that I had to break it up into two parts. So next week, we're going to do Asian delicacies, and that will include the Philippines. And trust me, I've got some shit for you to see. How many of these Brazilian pizzas did I actually get? Okay, we've got two more. All right. All right, here's another interesting one. This looks like beans, obviously, so that could be British, you know, but then it's French fries, maybe poutine. Uh, Vince Romax says pieces of pineapple are bad. Two whole is worse. Yes, two whole pineapples on a pizza is not acceptable under any circumstance. At all. And then, of course, on this pizza, they strategically placed the olives everywhere except on the poutine pie. I'm assuming it's probably just French fries on top of it. I can't actually be sure of that. But then, who knows? It could be couscous, it could be hummus, it could be just like whatever thrown on top. Those could be breadcrumbs over some form of, something. Like, Brazil, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Vince says, yep, that looks like a British pizza. Yeah, and then, like, part of me wants to believe that this is cheese, but in my mind, it screams, this is shredded coconut. And it very easily could be shredded coconut. At least the middle is actually more of a traditional pizza. Personal pan pizza surrounded by whatever the hell that is. And then our final Brazilian pizza. Speaking of stew, brought up by Vince Womack, if you took all of your stew bits and just put them on top of a pizza, it might look something like this. But then again, that looks like it could be a rib, that could be like some short ribs on the pizza. Those look like they could be roast of some kind, tomatoes, sausages, green peppers, a whole ass steak over here. These look like they could be chicken wings, possibly. And then I'm just going to assume that is some kind of crab aioli that they piled into the middle for people to dip the rest of their so-called pizza in. Yeah. Vince Romack says, I like Meat Lover's pizza, but this is taking the cake. Yes, sir. It's even got a cake in the middle. They strategically placed 5 little beans in the middle. This is called the 5-bean pizza. I've officially named this the 5-bean pizza because it's got 5 beans and only 5 beans. Unless those are peas. But they look more like beans. They could be peas, but they might be beans. Who knows? Which one of these lovely 6 Brazilian pizzas would you guys like? The 5-bean, the British Special, British Especial, the Pineapple Lovers, brownie in the middle M&Ms, the rotisserie chicken with dessert pudding and M&Ms, the God knows what charcoal and bacon pizza with a touch of lime, or, of course, the spare tire. As it says, fuck Zodiacs, what's your favorite Brazilian pizza? Would you guys eat any of these? Would you eat any of these? Vince weighs in heavily, saying, I vote for starving. Yes, most people probably would. The charcoal and bacon, the rotisserie chicken dessert pudding with M&Ms in the middle. How about the pineapple pizza, the double pineapple pizza? Yeah, the British pizza, and then, of course, the 5-bean. Let me know if you would eat those. Brazil. Such a wild place. Yes. Yes. While you guys decide whether or not you would get down on any of those 6 Brazilian pizzas, let's take a look at a Danish burger. Hail to eat Clay Donaldson. What is up, bro? He says, yo, what's up? Yeah, we're just taking a look at all the various foodstuffs from places that are not the United States. Yes, and once again, the Asian special will be next week because there were so many. Yes, indeed. So this is Denmark's beef sandwich, the Danish burger. And honestly, I would eat this. Okay, this is your burger in the middle here. You've got your 2 traditional buns. You've got your whatever toppings you want on it, of course. And then this is a brown beef, probably a little bit of mushroom gravy here. All right, I don't know if, and of course, crispy onions or onion powdered green beans or whatever the hell it is on top of it. It looks delicious to me because I have had this burger before. Not specifically from Denmark, but yeah. Vince Womack says, I wanted to comment something, but then I remembered the 40s Germans went to Argentina. Yeah, that will happen. It did happen. It won't. Yeah, whatever. Yes, so I would totally get down on this. If you've never had a brown gravy burger before, I would suggest trying it. E. Clay Thomason says, so it looks the same before and after you poop. Yes, that is a fair point. You don't have to worry about much in the way of consistency changes as it works its way through your system. Yeah. I would eat this. 100% eat this burger. It'd be delicious. I would also eat this next one, and it doesn't technically classify as a gross food, but I do have to point out that Europeans do not understand American sandwiches. It says, my European wife made me peanut butter and jelly. That is not how you do a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Europe, I'm talking to you. I know most of you are asleep, but this is not how you do peanut butter and jelly. Okay? You take one piece of bread, you slap the peanut butter on it. You take another piece of bread, you slap the jelly on it, and then you slap them together so that they can make sweet, sweet love with one another in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich so you can eat them. This is unacceptable. I would divorce this woman and move on with my life. Nick T.Z. Burton says Nick Weiser gets final word on pizzas. Well, hopefully he gets to see those pizzas. Vince Womack says it goes down the same way. I know that. I totally understand that. Just as much as I understand that every potato is mashed. But you have to understand that is not right. Okay? He says, is that even peanut butter? It doesn't look right. That's what I thought at first, too. Looking at this, I was like, is this sliced melted cheese? But it is apparently peanut butter. It is the palest, cheesiest looking peanut butter I've ever seen in my life. Their shopping habits leave me questioning. All right. However, he says, have to defend some Europeans. Whatever. Then defend this, my friend. This is what the French are... Yes, what Little in France sells as American-style sausages. All right, let's take a look and see here, okay? This is your sausage filled with just a chunk of cheese wrapped in some bacon. As an American, I am not 100% opposed to the idea of this. However, there's only 4 sausages. It's not wrapped completely in bacon, and that cheese needs to be filled inside of the sausage without splitting it. Have you never seen a cheddar wurst? I love cheddar wursts. Come on, France. You could at least try and get something right. Okay? Goodness gracious. This is the American version of cheese sausages. France. When are you going to learn? There's not enough bacon. If it's going to be an American style anything, it has to have more bacon. All the rest of it, I don't give a shit about it. You're going to wrap something in bacon. It needs to be enrobed in bacon. And then I need to be able to deep fry it directly. So the cheese oozes out and gets all crunchy and crispy and, you know, maybe pan fry this bitch. Who knows? But it needs more bacon. Oh, and Vince, you really want to defend Europe? You want to defend Europe? How about this? That is fucking annoying. Sorry. Yeah. Let's just watch this and see how it goes, huh? Ah, Perry. The land of dreams. Why can't these people use plates? What is wrong with using plates? Like, all right, let's reanalyze this, okay? First, they spray some kind of, I'm assuming it's a fruit of some kind, jelly or syrup or whatever, on the table, okay? And then, like, no, this person just did them dirty, all right? Look right here. You see this? It looks like he's handing him the freaking ice cream cone. And what does he do? And he's like, oh, damn, okay. And now look at his face. Look at his face. His face says everything. His face says everything you need to know. All right. What the actual food is going on here? I mean, come on. Use a plate. Hail to Lindsay, the cynical geek. She says, what even is this? This is apparently the most slept on restaurant in Paris. They start with a lovely drizzle of red sauce, and then they slap some ice cream directly on the table after taunting you, like a Turkish street vendor. And then, you know, they throw whatever the hell that is, ladyfingers maybe for tiramisu, and then that looks like God knows what, strawberries and marshmallows. Then they set fire to whatever the hell that is, and then they spray more shit on the table, and then they top it off with fruit. Why? Vincent Womack says, well, they were French. What did you expect? Not that. E. Clay Thomason says, I think they're just mocking him. It kind of feels that way. It kind of feels that way. Because, like, look at bro's face. Look at his face. Look at the disappointment in that man's face after they slapped that. Like, he was all like, oh, we're going to go get ice cream. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Oh. He's super sad. See, it's like that was pain. Yeah. I would be angry about that. TZ Burton says, I have half my freezer full of bacon. I am jealous. I wish I had a half a freezer full of bacon. Lindsay says, I can sense the betrayal in that man's eyes. Yeah, and then look, at that point he was already done. And now he's just like, what the hell is going on in the world today? How much money do you think he's wasting on this date? Or on this meal? That's like that's like $1,000 worth of what the hell right there. Seriously. France, I am disappointed in you. Sacre bleu. And now we're going to move over to Germany for a little taste of history. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say history, I don't mean that history. I mean, a German Chinese food ad from 1988. Are you ready for this? Because here we go.
Yes, if you want it to taste really Chinese, magic fix for China pan with bamboo shoots and the typical seasoning.
Yeah. How is that for you? Vince says, LOL, saw that one. I bet you did. Live when it first came out. Hail to the lovely Sherry. She's laughing out loud. It's great. It's great. I love old school ridiculous shit like this. You know? Vince Womack says, by the way, have you seen the video of that restaurant who served dinner like they are filling a trough? So I can believe that. I have seen that. I have seen that restaurant. And he says probably has seen it when it was originally released. Yeah. So that's a German ad for Chinese food back in 1988. Yeah. It was great, right? It was great. But now we're going to take a minute to appreciate. This is reportedly from Germany. I'm not 100% sure if it's actually from Germany or not, but we're going to take a minute to applaud a true professional in the food serving industry. All right. Let's take a look at this badass right here. Yeah, I'm not playing it because it just has the same, like, pogo bump going the whole time with an Oompa band of some kind or whatever. But look at this. Look at this meal size. Like, could you imagine having to do that for a living? Like, shit. That man has some powerful glutes, all right? Some great balance and a strong back, all right? He's probably gay. But I'm just saying, that man's got his work cut out for him. And damn, look at that restaurant. Look how busy that place is, huh? Hey, shit. Yep. Ben says, yep, that's Oktoberfest. Indeed it is. I just couldn't get any clear shots on any writing to see if it was actually in Germany or not, so I couldn't confirm it. But yeah, so that's a true professional. So to every waitress and waiter out there who's dropped a tray of like 2 bowls into a single drink or something like that, this man is judging you 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Surprisingly, I did not find a lot of weird stuff from Italy. Oh, Lindsay says he can feed a whole army quite literally. Yes. Yes, indeed. He could probably also fight alongside them after they've eaten his wonderful food. Well, the food that he brought out to them. Don't know if it would be wonderful or not. I don't know the state of German military food. But anyway, moving on to Italy. And we haven't even got the street vendors yet. Like, shit. Just wait. I love orange chicken. I really do. Hope. E. Clay Thomason says, does Germany have the wheel yet? Because they have carts you can use to carry food. Yes, but a true German food server does not bend the knees to contemporary conveniences. I think I said that right. Not 100% sure. I don't even remember what I just said. Let's move on. Vince says, from the traditional clothing, it looks German, but the Austrians have similar clothes. That's why I was like, well, I don't know if it's 100% in Germany, but I know it was at least Europe. You know, we are traveling through Europe right now, kind of, a little bit, you know. It just kind of worked out that way when they named them after the countries they were in. They just kind of fell into alphabetical order. And then they were somehow separated by region almost, except for one. But we'll get there. This is apparently an Italian restaurant's take on orange chicken in Italy. Okay. orange chicken this lady's boyfriend or guy's boyfriend got in Italy. Now, here in the United States, orange chicken never looks like this. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even look like that in China or Mexico or anywhere else in the entire world except for Italy. Typically orange chicken is breaded. There it's not just boiled chicken and what I'm assuming is supposed to be an orange sauce made out of Brahma bull's milk. Yeah. Clay Thomas says, looks like they just dumped frozen orange juice on it. Yeah. BTH, I never had orange chicken. Orange chicken in the States can be pretty good. I would not touch this. Ever. Oh, yeah. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says, I was told that Europeans are the gold standard when it comes to cuisine. The cuisine they themselves actually invented. Yes, they are the gold standard. But when it comes to copying other people's, they suck. He says, TBH, to be honest. Yes, that's not what you wrote, bro. You wrote BTH. Yeah. Gosh, I know. By the way, I've never had orange chicken. It's really good. I like it, especially with some sweet and sour sauce. It's supposed to be fried. And yeah, this is not. Yeah. Lindsay says, I love orange chicken, but I tend to go for the egg foo young if it's on the menu. Egg foo young is pretty good. I personally like the Mei Fun dishes, like especially like a Singapore Mei Fun or the mushu with you make little like Chinese tacos. Those are delicious. But yeah, I don't think I would ever eat this. It looks like a giant plate of boiled chicken inside a giant serving of semen with orange slices. Just saying. It isn't okay. And now we're going to pop on down to to Central America, whatever. Mexico, North America. We're going to Mexico right now. Yeah. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says, Singapore street noodles is also a divine dish. Never had that one. That sounds delicious. And Vince, trying to justify his mistake earlier, says, fingers are faster than my brain. Well, that's unacceptable, sir. Just wholly unacceptable. And if you thought this program got bad when I said that was boiled chicken in semen, wait until you see this ice cream parlor in Mexico. All right. TZ Burton says, I want to go to Poland and the Baltic states. I hear they have some wonderful food over there as long as you're eating their national dishes and not something that they tried to pick up from another country. That's the one thing that I always have to keep in mind when I'm trying to convince myself to eat another country's food. Is you've got to make sure it's an actual national dish, like a nationally recognized dish, not some crap. But anyway, Vince, TZ, Lindsay, E-Clay, lovely Sherry. I found the Dick's Division's official ice cream parlor. Okay. Vince Womack says, Asian street food is usually pretty good as long as you stay out of India and China. Yeah, dude, wait till you see next week's. I found some very interesting stuff in China that, oof. Anyway, so, the Dick's Division. Oh, it's pork, chicken, shrimp, and veggies mixed with noodles and coated in curry powder. If you love curry, you love Singapore street noodles. I've had that before, actually. It just wasn't called that. I don't remember what it was called, but it wasn't called Singapore street noodles. So, of course, it's probably a regional thing. Colorado does whatever the hell it wants. Anyway, here's your waffle erotic house. And these are your ice cream. Me vale ver whatever. Yeah, so this is the official Dick's Division ice cream parlor. Yeah, we've got he's already laughing. Good job, Vince. Yeah, so and the longer you look, the worse this gets. Okay, because this is what draws your eyes. But then you notice over here, you've got a book over here that displays the different kinds of penis pops and stuff you can get. Up here, you see various types of other ice cream stuff that you can get. You know, and yeah, so there's the Dick's Division's official uh, ice cream parlor. Yeah, Toxic Man Flu would love that place. And while we're still down in Mexico, the waffles, yes. Indeed, the waffles. This is really pissing me off. Where are we right now, damn it? Thank you. My computer does not want me to show you this. Okay. Lindsay the Cynical Geek says if it's not made with Brahma's milk, it's not legit, and therefore you must acquit. Alrighty. Clay Thomas says make sure you only put them in your mouth. What world do you live in, bro? And first of all, Brahma supplies milk to all of those places. Trust me, he does. He's a busy man. He's a busy man. He's always just, pounding out those connections and then trying to get his milk internationally known. So, this is probably the next one is probably also filled with Brahma's bull milk. TZ Burton says Comics Division, Culture, and Toxic approve of Dick's waffles. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But for some reason, they do not care for blue waffles. Not sure why. So, this is the title thing. Can anyone here guess what this is? Anyone at all? Just go ahead and fire off what you think this sack of white stuff with what appears to be a fish in the middle is. What do you think this is marketed as? Time's up. It's called a bolus, and it's from Veracruz, Mexico. It is fish ice cream. And the first time I read this, I thought it said boil. This is called, yeah, so this is fish ice cream, apparently, called the bolus. Some bird frozen in broth? Nope, it is fish ice cream, my friend. I didn't even give you time to answer. That's funny to me. So you guys like to type so fast, and then StreamYard's like, nope. We're gonna slow down a minute. But yeah. Yeah, fish ice cream known as bolus. TZ Burton says Brahma was in that milking book all the women are reading. I bet he was. He's got some pretty good tips for milking it. Yeah. Fish ice cream in Veracruz, Mexico. I think personally, I would rather get shot in the balls with a Nerf gun full of needles than eat this. Yeah, so hail to Lester the Skeptic Tank. He says, how about no to fish ice cream? Oh, come on, bro. You mean you wouldn't pop down to Veracruz, Mexico for some bolus? You wouldn't run all the way down to Mexico for this? Why not? Oh my gosh, you have no cultural appreciation. I almost said appropriation. Come on, Clay Thomas is gonna pass. Nobody wants the fish ice cream. Why doesn't anybody want the fish ice cream? Skeptic Tank says, langosta, yes. Fish ice cream, no. You guys are so prejudiced. It's ridiculous. You don't appreciate Mexican food. Seriously. You don't appreciate Mexican food at all. All right, my next one is a question for the chat. And it is, do you like nut cream? Do you like nut cream? I bet you do. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says, this reminds me of an episode of Iron Chef where one of the chefs made a chocolate fish dip dish. I noped so hard. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Vince is just laughing. Like, he's not going to answer my question whether or not he likes nut cream. You know? And Skeptic Tank says, it's a trap. What do you mean it's a trap? It's just nut cream. Do you guys like nut cream? Gosh, he says giving, not receiving. Wow, Vince. You don't like getting nut cream? Gosh, nobody likes nut cream? Nobody likes nut cream. How about nut cream that has salami mixed in? How about some nut cream with salami mixed in? E. Clay Thomas says, who doesn't like that cream? Is this another Brahma product? No, these are from Nick's Nuts. Yes, his 32 flavors of nuts now includes salami. Nduja Calabrese. Yeah, salami mixed with Nutella, basically. So nut cream and salami. Get your meat with nut cream. Nut cream with meat. Yummy. Vincent Womack says, by the color of that nut cream, it's been hanging around for a while. It does take a minute for it to turn brown. That nut cream is, or unless it doesn't for some people, and then you need to go to a doctor. But I'm just saying, would you guys eat nut cream with salami in it? Would you eat Nutella with salami in it? That's what this is. Would you eat nut cream, Nutella with salami in it? Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, just when I thought pineapple pizza on pizza was going too far. Well, now you have nut cream with salami. Ultra spicy salami, by the way. Ultra spicy, spreadable Calabrian salami. It's basically mixed with Nutella. So if you like nut cream, you should try it with meat. E. Clay Thomas says, you won't believe this, but I'm eating some right now. Nut cream with meat? You're eating Najia's nuts? Vince Womack says, together, no. Separate, yes. Nope, has to be together. So obviously he's saying no again. Hail and bonsoir to Christian Delorme. Bonsoir, monsieur. It's good to see you. I'll ask you the question. Do you like nut cream, Christian? E. Clay Thomason says, okay, I lied. Yeah, I thought so. But Christian, do you like nut cream? How about nut cream with salami in it? Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, the Swedes eat Sturströmming. Now that's a man-made horror beyond comprehension. That's the stuff that you can't even really eat inside because of how bad it smells, right? Like, as soon as you open that 1,000-year-old sealed container, it just lets out this wafting smell of death, right? The Surströmming. Yeah. Christian's just laughing. Bro, I need you to answer the question whether or not you like nut cream. All right? You can completely ignore what the Skeptic Tank says here. It is not a trap. I need to know if you like nut cream and nut cream with meat. So I can send you some for Christian. Or for Christmas, I mean. Aw, he says, I love Nutella, but not mixed with meat. So you wouldn't eat it with super spicy salami mixed into it? Uncultured Philistines. It's terrible. Oh, guys. We finally made it. We finally made it to the freaking street vendors. Christian, you made it just in time for the street vendors. Oh man, you got such good luck. Lindsay says, yep, and the can hisses when you pop it open. I've seen people attempt to try it and fail spectacularly. Yeah. Clay Thomason says, is there any weirder than chocolate-covered bacon? I would say yes, because it's a spreadable salami mixed with nut cream. I mean, come on. Vince Womack says, normally I do not eat seafood, and surströmming or the Japanese variant is a very good reason why. Yeah, that's what I hear. Christian says, I don't mix sweet with salt. Ah, I see. So you don't like your nut cream with salami. That's unfortunate. I have to mute this. Hold on. Nobody wants to hear that. Oof. That's awful. All right, guys. And now it's time for the Street Vendor Special. To start things out, I don't know where the hell this is. I don't know. Clay Thomason says, I thought that cream was salty. Yeah. The nut cream can be salty. Vincent Womack says, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Yes, because now the street vendors. How many street vendors do I have? Hold on. I need to see how many street vendors I have here. I have 4 street vendors right off the bat. Okay. All right. Lindsay says, who's willing to bet it's India? You're probably right, but let's just take a minute and soak this one in, shall we? Let's just watch a master at work. Isn't that just a lovely kitchen setup? It's just beautiful. And of course he's making an omelet. You know, then he's got to throw the bread on there. You know, doesn't that look delicious? It just looks so great, doesn't it? The locals rave about this. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that delicious? Who doesn't love a little bit of leaf on their stuff, too? You know? Clay Thomas says, that knife is dope. Indeed. Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, Japanese street food vendor videos are great if you need a palate cleanser. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Vincent Womack says, that pan looks like he lost a lot of arguments with his wife. Very true. Very true. And Lindsay says, there are rats in the kitchen, barfing everywhere. Well, their kitchen is outside in the gutter. You can see how close they are to the street. And, yeah, Vincent Womack says, even the rats stay away. I mean, you're telling me that you guys wouldn't eat this guy's wonderful omelet toast with your little friends over here? Look at him. He's such a healthy boy. Oh, my gosh. Oh, look at that. They brought the whole family back. Look at that. Oh, run away. Make sure you get that leaf in there nice and tight. A couple leaves and some newspaper for some flavoring. Yeah. Christian Delorme says, but some of the best food I ever ate in my life was always greasy spoon restaurants with health violations. But are they to this point? Are they to the point where you're going, hi, little buddy. Hello, my friend. I'm surprised he didn't scoop that guy up, throw him in the middle of the bread, and make it a sandwich. Seriously. As E. Clay Thomas says, the rats are just unstored meat. Yeah, exactly. You know, you can't go wrong with rats in the kitchen, right? Well, maybe you guys aren't really feeling that omelet, so you want some, like, meaty eggs, right? Vince says, there are health violations, and then there's this. Yes, you're correct, sir. You are correct. Lindsay says, the last time I checked, the restaurants I've been to haven't had any rats or roaches. I don't know about you, Lindsay, but I don't go around actually checking the restaurants for rats and roaches. Most people consider that fairly rude. But I guess if you're concerned, you can check it out. Now, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and play the sound on this one. Because y'all need to hear this. Just because. Motor oil Yeah, that looks so good. The sound of the cars really sets the ambiance for it. And I love his mixing methods here. I love his mixing methods. Just make sure you scrape that off. Yeah. This is all meat just sitting here chilling over here. Vince says he hasn't changed the oil in 17 years. Lindsay says he ruined that egg. That should be a crime. So, I take it you guys don't want that either. You guys, you guys aren't down for this lovely, like you start with the egg, he scrambles it with his fingers. I mean, think about that. And then he splashes some oil on it to make sure it gets, you know, nice and then he throws it in there to get it fried up. Yeah. E. Clay Thomason says, bare hands in hot oil. Great idea. Isn't it, though? Christian Delorme, trying to rationalize what he's seeing here, says, some of my favorite eggs are cooked in bacon grease and steak juice. Yeah, mine too. But this is like 70-year-old motor oil that's being constantly kept at a temperature that's damn near like ignition point. And then he mixes all of the shit by hand. You know, when they say handmade food, this guy takes the cake. He might even make the cake by hand with this meat that's just eloquent, just delicately just slammed up against this wall. You know? Like, and of course, you know, he mixes in the meat so that you can have some good stuff with your eggs. I mean, look at that. Look, wait. Back it up. Obviously, you guys missed this, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna pause it right here for a second while we say, Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, eggs cooked in bacon grease. Yeah, it is delicious. Christian says, no net for that beard. Where has that beard been? I would assume Islamabad or, you know, somewhere along those lines. Did you guys notice this down here? Yeah, I think that's the finished product. Because it's not there. And then when it goes back over to here, there it is. I think that's your finished product right there. Just saying. E. Clay Thomason says, yeah, reused gutter oil by a guy who probably doesn't wash his hands. Plan on diarrhea for the rest of the week. Yeah. TZ Burton says, in India, at least in India, they don't wash their hands. Yeah, we'll get there. I have some legit Indian, like, street vendors. Yeah. Vince Romack says, I'm more worried where his hands have been. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair concern. I won't argue with that. That is a fair concern. And now, yeah, this one's a compilation video. So we'll just walk it through here. Clearly you can tell that this young man loves his job. All right. Lindsay says, I'm going to hug the staff at my local Indian food restaurant next time I order from there. You should. You should hug everyone that, you know. E. Clay Thomason says, although he did put them in the hot oil, so maybe they're sterilized, or maybe you have just crispy flesh bits stuck inside your lovely food there. But you'll see why this young man loves his job in just a second. Here we go. There you go. Yep. He's got to get the ladle back. You know, and again, I have no idea what any of this is. Just to let you know. I have no idea. Yep. Got to make sure it's nice and wrung out while you're You know, street vendors. And yeah, as you can tell, some of these are from India. And God knows what's inside. Like, what do you, what? Yeah, look at that. Ooh, tasty. Yep, and who doesn't love floor bread? You know? Who doesn't love a good floor bread? Roasted perfectly on some bamboo. God only knows what that is. Tree bark, maybe? Leftover, like, street parts. Yeah, so I can't even begin to commentate on what we just saw. So I'm going to leave it completely to Vince Womack. All right? He just vomits everywhere. Yep. Lindsay, the cynical geek. At least the Eastern Asian street vendors are clean. We'll see about that next week. Yeah. E. Clay Thomason says, how can I have over 1 billion people with all that food poisoning every day? Some people are born, some people die. They don't even really take that into account, but you know. Christian Delorme says, something really disgusting about that Somalian slop I keep seeing. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, bro. You mean none of you mean none of this is really like appetizing to you, bro? Like let's get a newspaper burrito, you know, with whatever that is. Apple slice? Oh, I guess it's just a taco. And yeah. Obviously the conditions there are spot on for cleanliness. Yeah, that right there. Doesn't that just look delicious? Sawdust and dough getting mixed together and then slopped out, and you know, and then they bake them into whatever the hell this is supposed to be. Like honestly, like stop. Let's back up a second here. Does that not look like something that came off the bottom of a truck during winter covered in mag chloride and mud? There are people starving all over the world, and these people are just wasting food making whatever the hell this is. Think of the children. Lindsay says, Japan and Korea street food actually looks appetizing. Wait until you see some of the Korean dishes I've got for next week. Man. Yeah, so there's your bark. And then, like, look at that drip. Who doesn't love it? Like, I, again, can't even begin to commentate on the end of that video. Like, what is going on here? Vince Womack says, I watched a survival series on a deserted island, and they had a cleaning setup. TZ Burton says, I flushed that recently. Yeah. I bet you did. And now, oh, I see. They had a cleaner setup. Clearer setup. Cleaner setup. Yeah. Cleaner setup. I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, third time's the charm. That's right, sir. Keep on trying. Lindsay says, I'm so glad that we culturally appropriated the best South American food. Yes, me too. Me too. This cooking method just is not appealing to me, but it's a very interesting thing. This guy's face tells you he's up to some sneaky salmon fish shit. And no, it's not because there's salmon in this, but Christian Delorme says, I'd love to see the Michelin guide on street vendors. Yeah, the section to avoid, like places to avoid section would be a lot bigger than the let's go there. Yeah, so this is an interesting, yeah, so by the way, that's sand. He's throwing stuff into sand. I'm not even 100% sure what he's cooking right now. And no, it's not vegetables. It's not noodles. It could be noodles, but like if you notice, they're swelling up pretty bad as he's cooking them with sand. So I don't know what those are. I really don't. I don't know if this is a snack. I don't know if this is like what that is, but yeah, cooking in sand. It's not a method that I ever picked up in any of my cooking adventures. And they look clean, but I mean cooking in sand. Yeah, sure, it's probably an ancient technique that's been around for a long time. But like are those candies? Like they're clearly sticky when he throws them in and he coats them with sand. And then he cooks them until they puff up. Like seriously, and then they puff up to like 5 times their size. It's insane. This man is magic. He has magic abilities to take sand and stuff and turn it into whatever that is. Yeah. It's colorful. I'll give you that. No idea. Lindsay the Cynical Geek says playground salad. TZ Burton says, I have eaten Panamanian food. It's good. Panama. Vincent Womack says, I've seen something like that. It actually is clear from sand when they come out. Really? Lindsay says, I'm going to go, actually, I think those are spices. I know Mexican candies have lime and salt and other spices. Some of them do, yes. But, just something that throws me off. E. Clay Thomason says, it's an Indian sandwich. Get it? Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Yeah, because he works magic with sand. Like, it's just how much they puff up boggles my mind. And, you know, it could be candy. But I refuse to believe these are spices. That's got to be sand. It's got to be. And look how big they get so fast. Like, this is like a 40-second video and, like, part of me wants to try that. I know that sounds weird, but part of me wants to try that. All right. We're going to take a look at dessert from the UK real quick. Now that we're done with the street vendors. I told you one of them was out of order because, you know, the UK starts with U and it ordered them alphabetically. So, whatever. Yeah. Oh. Christian Delorme says, I've seen an ostrich egg cooked in the sand in Africa. The reporter ate it and described it as gritty. Well, yeah, I could see cooking an egg in sand as being a little gritty. Honestly, that does make sense. E. Clay Thomas says, don't come to us without all the facts, Corey. Do your research. No, I won't. I won't. Not when it comes to food stuff. Not like this. Not like this. This is your thin, stone-baked Easter egg pizza. It's got Cadbury eggs, marshmallows, chocolate sauce, dough for a lovely £3.50. Yeah. Lindsay says, there's no texture I hate in my mouth more in my mouth than a sandy texture. That's fair. The grittiness of it is a bit much. So yeah, why the UK keeps messing food up after so long is just mind-boggling. I don't understand how they could possibly ruin so much. E. Clay Thomason says, limited edition. Better hurry up and grab one. Yep. Lindsay says, are those Cadbury cream eggs on that pizza? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Vince says, can't be worse than strawberry and chocolate pizza. Not by much. I've had some dessert pizzas that are actually pretty good, but I don't know about a stone-baked crust with this shit on there. But it could be good. It's just, you know, presentation is everything. Christian Delorme says, nothing wrong with that cake. Take your insulin. All right. This is British flavored diabetes. That's what this is. Lindsay, the cynical geek, says dessert pizza is great. It can be. Can be. Dessert. Oh, she said desert. Oh. Desert pizza is great. I thought you said you didn't like sandy texture. But now you're saying the desert pizza is great. Gosh. Of course she means dessert pizza. But, yeah, I don't think I would eat this just for the sake of my teeth. Like, I know British people don't often have to worry about their teeth being jacked up because, ta-da, too late. But, I feel like this would cause some serious tooth decay. Really, really bad tooth decay. And now we're going to move into, you should have left a while ago. All right. And here's why. All right, I'm just going to let this play out, and I'm going to tell you, this is what the WEF wants for people in the future. Just saying, they want them to be just like this man, where you can take your can of condensed milk, pour it over your tree grubs, and get down. Lindsay the cynical geek says, what is that? Those are grubs. Those are tree grubs. Have you ever never seen those? This guy could be an Aboriginal Australian and, you know, just pulled those out of a tree, you know. Lindsay says, I will not eat the bugs. Why not? It's just a giant bowl of grubs. I mean, come on, what's so wrong with that? All right, this one requires sound because this man is hilarious. Thank you, Salt Bay, for causing so many people to be so stupid with their cooking stuff. E. Clay Thomason says, oh my God, is that thing from Star Trek 2? It's a very close relative, actually. Had that man not eaten them all, they would have evolved into the little ear mind-controlling bug thingies. Yeah. This one legit requires sound, and I'm just going to let it play so that you guys can just hear it.
Ow! जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो भाई
I want internet fame, so I'm going to act retarded and think I look awesome.
काम छोड़ दीजिए इलेश भैया यहाँ पे कपड़ा मार ये में ना शिद्दत भी डाल देना चाहिए
I will applaud this young man's enthusiasm. But let's just take a look at what he's doing here. I mean, does this even count as food? Christian Delorme says, live from the mental hospital workshop. See, if I knew his nationality, it'd be easier to come up with a funny name for him, but I don't. Like, Vince is just smiling. I think he's had enough of people at this point. Lindsay says, I mean, you gotta respect the flex. Yeah, I guess. You know, it looked a lot better before he started doing the garnishing and the finishing work on it. Just saying, the green bowl of slop, you know. Oy vey. E. Clay Thomason says, too sloppy. He wasted half the food. Yes, he did. You are correct, sir. So I will applaud that man's enthusiasm. And as a reward for his efforts, he gets a free bag of finger mace. They're wheat snacks. Just take a minute to take this in. Yeah. Imagine, if you will, a world where copyrights do not exist. You come across a snack called Finger Me, and it has the Lucky Charm guy.
Aye, finger me's are magically delicious. They're the only wheat snacks that I love. Finger me. Tasty.
Honestly, wow. Between the Mexican Dick's Division ice cream, yeah, and the Finger Me wheat snacks, you know, you got a full meal. Lindsay says, if I wanted to eat something sloppy, I'd eat a Joe. Sloppy Joes are delicious. Vince is just laughing at the Finger Me things. Christian Delorme says, the true craftsmen are Japanese chefs cooking the food in front of you. Yes, I do enjoy myself a good, like, hibachi. It's good. If that's not what it's called, is it? I don't know. My brain just broke again. I say words sometimes, and I'm like, is that a different one? Does that mean something different? I don't know. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says, it's finger me delicious. Yep, that's right. Finger me! Ha ha ha! Just got it. Yes. Thank you for catching up, Christian. Thank you for catching up. And now, we're going to go on to the one piece of food here that I think everyone could honestly go for. All right. And I'm actually going to fast forward so you guys can't see the finished product right off the bat. All right. I would 100% eat what we are about to see. Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, teppanyaki hibachi is a smaller grill, I believe. Okay. I'm really bad with foreign terms, or names, or dates, or numbers in general, or letters, or memory, or being quiet during serious occasions where I'm not supposed to say stupid shit. Anyway, this is so delicious. I would have this. I absolutely would. Check this out. All right. I would play it, but there's a song on here that's definitely copyrighted. So I'm just going to let you guys see what this bro is doing and tell you right now, I would get behind this. This man is a craftsman who does amazing work. Yes. Yes. This is so delicious. Like, look at that. Not to interrupt the video, but Lindsay says, I love Japanese food, so I'm a bit of a nerd, or shall I say weeb. I love Japanese food as well. I haven't really had much Japanese food that I haven't liked. It really depends on the chef, though. Yeah, and then, of course, he stamps the bread. Then he stamps the bread. And then he stamps the bread. Vince Womack says, I thought for Christmas you could have done a stream with actually good food. Oh, that is next week, isn't it? That is next week, huh? Shit. Okay. So, I guess the Asian delicacies will wait until the week of New Year's, because I do actually want to do a Christmas special, and I can actually do it on foods that I really would eat, stuff that looks really good. Lindsay the Cynical Geek says, it is. I can't believe Christmas is next week. I know, I'd completely spaced the fact that, so yeah, change of plans, ladies and gentlemen. Asian delicacies will be the following week, and next week we will do What the Food, yes, the Christmas special that shows us the delicious foods that we will eat. I was going to throw together a bunch of messed up Christmas special stuff, but I couldn't find enough. It was really weird. Like, I'd have to stock up for literally an entire year to fill one Christmas special, because all the Christmas stuff comes out around New Year's on my food sites and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue on with this craftsmanship beyond all reasonable like expectation. All right. Yeah. Check that out. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. I mean, honestly, I would eat this bread. And it's not just the fact that it looks delicious. It also looks like it's actually been made correctly and made well in a clean environment with a guy who has clean hands. Would I prefer he wore gloves? Of course. But, you know, he's probably not dictated by American health code standards in his shit here. We're going to speed this up so we can just watch that in light speed, or at least 2x speed. Vince says, work of art. It is. It is a wonderful, wonderful looking bread thing. And then all the other ones inside of it, inside that oven, also looked amazing. And that's why I love craftsmen of any trade. Man, that looks so good. Look at that. Man. E. Clay Thomason says, that's pretty cool. I'm wondering why it sticks without falling off. It's probably a slightly extra moist dough. And of course this is your standard clay oven. So you know, the bread, it's superheated all the time. And then if you have a slightly over moist dough, it will make it stick a little better. And like, look at those beautiful breads. All right. Christian says, nice. Yeah. See, I can appreciate craftsmen in their work, and these look delicious. This looks like something I personally would love to be able to make something like this to share with my family, or even buy something like this to share with my family. But I mean, this is what happens when you take time to perfect your art. Okay? You get delicious end products that everyone should be satisfied with at all times. Man, that looks delicious. Yeah, so that reached the end of our thing. I had a great time. This was fantastic. And of course, like I said, next week we will be doing What the Food. Yes, it's the Christmas special. It's the gift that will give you some rumblings in your tummy, because I'll tell you, some of the stuff I have been saving up for this specific episode. Oh man, is it gonna be good? Like, seriously, you guys should love the hell out of it. It's gonna be so good. Christian Delorme says, "Are you gaming tonight?" I might be. I'm not 100% sure. It really depends on how I feel towards the end of the night, because last night I actually wound up. So yesterday I wound up working 2 separate shifts so I could have an extra day off today, and today I was going to do some audiobook recording, and I was going to work on music and stuff, but then I wound up with this really, really gnarly headache because there was too much screen time. And because I made the mistake of trying to read the audiobook from my phone instead of the actual physical copy that I have, which is stupid, by the way. That was a stupid mistake on my part. But anyway, yeah, so if I don't have another headache tonight, I will do a game stream. Yeah. Vince Womack says, I want to learn how to make noodles by hand like the Japanese. I would love to do that too. I also want to learn how to make their rice or whatever, like super complicated omelet thing that you can do. And I also want to try their super fluffy cakes and their deliciousness. And that stuff will be on Asian Delicacies in 2 weeks' time. Next week, we'll be doing What the Food. Yes, tonight I will hopefully be able to do another Talent Gaming. I'm probably going to continue. Christian says, I love waking up and watching your GTA streams. Puts me in stitches. Well, you know what? Just for you, Christian, I might do some GTA tonight. Because I was thinking about playing around with the jerry can for a little bit. And I know that scares some people. Or they're like, why in the world would you just run around setting people on fire with a gas can? But, you know, I think it's funny sometimes. Oh, well. That's no more twisted than what we saw earlier in the show. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like button, you subscribe, share this with your friends, especially the ones who need to lose weight, so they can lose their appetite just by watching a show. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, you're wonderful. I love it. I love having you guys around. I love doing these shows. It's great to be back. And yeah, so stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time.
Not the correct way to eat a cinnamon roll.
Yo, what the food is that? What am I looking at? It looks like a double-double douche was dropped inside your mac and cheese dishes. Please don't be putting all those beans on my pizza and lasagna. Got me begging on my knees. Yo, what the food is that? A deep-fried heart attack. Type 2 diabetes on a stick with candy-coated double chin setting in. What you gonna do when your poor little cankles can no longer support you? Smells like cholesterol and shame up in here. Man, it's rancid. Is that boiled pig feet? I'm gonna be sick. Yo, what the food is wrong with you? Just tell me why you do the things you do, like coating chicken wings in purple goo and turning perfect meat into a nightmare straight from Lovecraft. The cheese-covered Swiss rolls will fuse to your back fat. Yeah, what the food? Tell me what you gonna do. Are you gonna eat the pizza with the special toppings too? Yes, it's been revealed and it turned into a spectacle. Now don't start tripping, it's just a juicy testicle. What the food is that? A frosted coated glass. What the food am I supposed to do with something that's as dumb as that? Wait a minute, now I see it. This is just a waste of space. Take a step back and get your salmon vodka out my face. You can't tell me people actually eat this. It's gotta be illegal. What even is that? Ugh. Oh, what the food? What did I just walk into? Chocolate emerald pickles with a heaping side of fragrant grue, coupled with the texture of the double sardine chocolate bread. Kinda makes me wish that this morning I had woke up dead. Can you even classify that as food? Isn't poisoning someone for internet fame illegal? What the food, man?